that in this short period of time, we are there to be basically tested, to be evaluated, to perform, so we can pass the test to eternity. And that is where we have the success. So while this life here, we have so many options. In the hereafter, there is only two options. Either heaven or hell. That's it. And he understood this, and that's why he dedicated his life to actually help people achieve, to reach that point of achieving, the hereafter and succeeding in the hereafter. The Prophet ﷺ said, when a purpose dies, all his good deeds ceases except three things: continuing act of charity, beneficial knowledge, and righteousness, and a righteous son who will praise, and of a righteous daughter who prays for him. So, and he focused on this. He focused on basically the knowledge element and raising her children to be righteous, to always remember him. And I think the dictation they have after he passing away, it's an illustration and manifesting that his success in achieving this. As I said, when I met Imam Naseem in the Ramadan of the 2006, it really gave me the feeling that I didn't know he was a teacher, but I understood directly that he is a murabbi. And while we recognize that education is critical, to individual and nations, education in Islam is not just a mere jamming information in a person's brains. Actually, it involves the creation of morals and the principles. And this is why education in Islam combines knowledge with tarbiyah. And while it is hard to find actually an English equivalent to the word, a single word for what tarbiyah means, but tarbiyah means the development of educational, moral, and spiritual need. The activity of tarbiyah involves school, and actually go beyond the school. It involves some training camps, study circles, speaker forums, and night vigils. And Imam Naseem, actually, when he came to Houston, he was involved in all of these as part of the ICNA activities to provide this means of tarbiyah. The combination of education and tarbiyah, particularly for the youth, to allow them to adhere to the Islamic ideals and identify their spiritual heritage. This combination of education and tarbiyah is the one that result into tazkiyah and our purification. So, and we know that only you will succeed if you achieve the level of tazkiyah or the purification. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by the soul and the proportion and order given to it, and its alignment as it's wrong and right, successful indeed the ones who achieve tazkiyah, who purifies his whole self. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ تَزَكَّى وَذَكَرَ اسْمَ رَبِّهِ فَصَلَّى. But the tazkiyah is very important, and the element, the prerequisite of tazkiyah is the tarbiyah. And we notice that the Prophet ﷺ, the integration of education and tarbiyah, and to achieve the tazkiyah of the individual and the purification of the individual, was actually implemented by the Prophet ﷺ and his companions. The Prophet ﷺ was the first teacher for our ummah, and Allah describes the approach in Surah Al-Jum'ah, هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةِ. So this is the means by which he is the one who he sent the unlettered messengers among themselves to the unlettered people to recite the verses or ayat, and then to purify them, and then to teach them the book. So the teaching actually came after you achieved the level of the purification. And then we find out why this is important, because when we go to read the Surah Al-Baqarah, and then the second verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. That this book is where there is no doubt guidance, but not to everybody. It's guidance to those who are righteous. So if you read the Quran without being righteous, you will never be guided. So the beginning of understanding the Quran is, and following it, it has to start from the righteousness first. And that is where the element of the tarbiyah have to come in first, and the purification of the individual. And that is how you bring in the taqwa in the heart and the mind of people.